Have you ever met someone who seems to live in their own world, quiet and almost invisible? They're the ones in the back of the classroom, the ones at the edge of the party, observing everything but saying very little. This is a story about one such girl, a quiet dreamer who taught everyone a powerful lesson without raising her voice. Her name was Elara, and she was a whisper in a world of shouts. While her classmates loudly declared their ambitions to be doctors, artists, entrepreneurs, Lara would just nod and smile, a small, knowing smile that held a universe of unspoken thoughts. Her dreams weren't for public display. They were private, sacred things she nurtured in the quiet corners of her mind. While others were busy talking about the mountains they would climb, Elara was already mapping her route, one step at a time, in the pages of her worn-out notebook. Her silence wasn't a sign of emptiness. It was the calm before a storm of creation. It was focus, pure and simple. She believed that dreams were fragile, and speaking them too soon might cause them to evaporate into thin air. So she kept them close, guarding them with her silence. But the world isn't always kind to the quiet ones. Because Elara didn't brag, didn't boast, didn't join in the loud, boisterous conversations, people made their own assumptions. They saw her silence and filled it with their own judgments. "She's so boring," they'd whisper. "Does she even have an opinion? Probably has nothing interesting to say." They labeled her invisible, a background character in their own loud, colorful stories. To them, a person with no voice was a person with no ambition, no passion, no fire. The laughter wasn't always malicious, but it stung nonetheless. It was the casual dismissal, the way they looked right through her, that created a wall of isolation. She felt misunderstood. Like a book judged solely by its plain cover, its rich, intricate story left unread. Every time someone underestimated her, it was like a small paper cut not deep, but a constant, nagging reminder that she was on the outside looking in. But here's the thing about Elara. She heard every word, felt every judgmental glance. She could have shouted back, tried to explain herself, fought to make them see her, but that wasn't her way. Instead of fueling their fire with words, she decided to build her own. She channeled all that misunderstanding, all that frustration, into fuel. Her response wouldn't be spoken. It would be built, brick by painstaking brick. Every evening, when the world outside grew quiet and the bustling sounds of the day faded, Elara's real work began. The soft glow of her desk lamp became her spotlight. While others were out socializing or sleeping, she was hunched over her books, her canvas, her code. Each page she read, each line she drew, each problem she solved was a silent rebuttal to their doubts. She turned her solitude into a sanctuary of productivity. Her silence wasn't passive, it was active. It was the concentrated energy of a blacksmith forging a sword, hammer blow after hammer blow, shaping raw material into something sharp, strong, and undeniable. She was working in silence, knowing, trusting that one day her success would make all the noise for her. Years passed. The whispers about the invisible girl faded, not because she started talking, but because she was simply forgotten by those who lived their lives at high volume. They were all still talking, still making grand pronouncements about their future successes. But for Ilara, the future wasn't something to be talked about. It was something to be created. Then came the day of the National Innovation Showcase, a prestigious event where the brightest young minds presented their projects. The auditorium was filled with an electric buzz. One by one, contestants came forward, speaking eloquently and passionately about their work. They were charismatic, loud, and confident. Then it was Ilara's turn. She walked onto the stage, no dramatic flair, just a quiet calm. A murmur went through the crowd. Some of her old classmates were there, and they exchanged confused glances. What's she doing up there? She didn't give a long speech. She simply set up her Project-Tan intricate, beautifully designed system for sustainable urban farming that she had built from scratch. She pressed a button. The system whirred to life, a miniature ecosystem glowing under the stage lights. It was brilliant. It was revolutionary. It was silent, but it spoke volumes. The judges were speechless. The audience was captivated. When the winner was announced, her name, Ilara, echoed through the massive hall. In that moment, a profound hush fell over the room. Even the loudest, most confident voices from her past fell silent, their faces a mixture of shock and awe. Her work, born from years of quiet dedication, had just shouted louder than any of them ever could. It was a victory not of noise, but of substance. As she accepted the award, the host, intrigued by her quiet demeanor, asked, "You've achieved something incredible. People have underestimated you your whole life. What do you have to say to them now?" A microphone was held up to her. The entire auditorium leaned in, expecting a triumphant speech. Maybe a jab at her doubters. Ilara looked out at the sea of faces, found the familiar ones who had once called her invisible, and a small, gentle smile touched her lips. She leaned into the microphone and said just 8 words, her voice clear and calm, yet resonating with undeniable power. "You don't have to be loud to be strong." And with that, she walked off the stage. The lesson was complete. Her story is a reminder for all of us, especially those who feel overlooked or unheard. Your value isn't measured by the volume of your voice, but by the depth of your actions. Let your work be your anthem. Let your achievements be your roar. Let your success be the undeniable proof of the fire that burns within you. Because true strength doesn't need to announce itself. It just is. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiration.